I met Nona when we were doing interviews for the service work community our freshman year.
Nona was in my fall 2019 undergrad Intro to the Hebrew Bible.
I remember she was like, I have my picture for Bell's, like for my Bell's interview. And I was like, I had no idea we were supposed to bring a picture. Like,
She was one of the engaged students.
and she's like, oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. Like totally like BSing me. Like, you don't even need a picture. Like, don't even worry about it. Like, it'll totally be fine.
I remember Nona in that class being very engaged, very thoughtful about how material connects to the larger context in which we're embedded.
Even like in the midst of being uncomfortable and not quite knowing her place and knowing where she belongs, her priority is always just putting people at ease and making people feel safe and welcome.
Actively creating, collaborating.
She is without a doubt the most resilient person I've ever met. Nothing can keep that girl down. Absolutely nothing can keep her down. You can try, and people have tried, but nothing is going to stop her from caring so deeply.
I don't know if I would even consider myself an activist. I think I'm just somebody that cares.
We've covered Nona Pittman's work time and time again here at the Los Angeles Loyolan. She has been at the forefront of several social justice movements on campus, most notably the $21 for FM movement. But as her time at LMU comes to an end, we sat down with her and some of her close colleagues to fully grasp the caliber of Nona's passion and servant leadership. Last spring, FM employees published an open letter proclaiming that they were taking long-standing efforts to reach higher wages. Was there a call to action moment for you at this time?
Yeah, so I was invited by campus ministry to say a prayer, and then right before I went up, somebody came up to me and said, we might have a demonstration on our hands. And my ears perked up and I thought, oh, what's going on? And then I read the letter and instantly I was like, we need to do something about this. So I edited my prayer a little bit and I mentioned the demands that our FM workers were making. And then after that, I met up with two of the professors who were helping organize this. And I said, what can I do? How can I get involved? Let's do this thing.
When the first student action was being organized around the 21 campaign. So had a, kind of a whole mix of students showed up and we needed some student leadership, and she's like, oh yeah, I can do that. And then just took it, adapted it, her and a few of the other students kind of made it their own.
It was some posters, 5 of us, and a dream, and somehow people just kept showing up.
There was a question, who's going to show up? Because it's not like there was a RSVP list. It was, all right, something needs to happen, need to speak up, who's going to be there? So yes, it was a very uncertain morning. Like, what's going to happen? How's this going to play out? Maybe it is the right place at the right time in terms of all the different pieces kind of falling into place.
I think at a campus like LMU, it's so easy to become jaded by the wealth of some of these students or classes or whatever it may be. But just seeing that people showed up without even knowing exactly what was going on made me think, whoa, like we can do something about this. And as somebody that's passionate about justice and learning about all of these systems that impact how I experience life and hurt a lot of marginalized people, sometimes it can be really daunting and it can feel like there is nothing that we can do. But there is so much power in activism. There is so much power in caring about people and just showing up.
We both ended up serving on e-board our sophomore year. So I was social justice chair, she was spirituality chair, and we planned this retreat where we talked about like equity issues within COVID and how it was predominantly affecting Black and brown communities, and the responsibility of privileged people to be safe and be responsible during COVID. So we both got really invested in educating ourselves and in justice work during that time.
I've always done organizing. I organized my high school's first ever blood drive and nothing of this nature before. I mean, I've done little things and making sure that people on the campuses that I frequented were treated fairly, but nothing of this magnitude. I really love the organizing side and I love the people side. So I feel like that's why community organizing is kind of the perfect happy medium. But this was something that I couldn't have imagined. Oh my gosh, it was so challenging and it was really draining. And there have been a lot of tears spilled over these justice efforts, and hearing things about administrators saying there's no way that this is going to get done, and hearing discouraging things from professors who are critical of movements such as these and thinking that our FM workers are receiving just wages to begin with, or being told that I should just be happy with the increase of the $19 in the summer. It was really, really tough, but I knew that I just had to keep going.
One of the things that we discussed was the need to make sure that these kinds of actions, and especially student-led movements, require sustained commitment.
Yeah, it felt so weird, and I thought to myself, is this it? Like, we did our movement, we passed out our stickers, we gave some support during graduation, but is this all that it could be?
We did have several meetings about, all right, we need to make sure we're ready to roll, to not just let this, float off, kind of a high energy event, and then everybody's like, yay, we did it, but we're not there yet.
And then hearing about the $19 increase, I thought, okay, should we just take what we were given and settle down with it? But I remember the first day I came back to campus, I ran into an FM worker, and I was just like, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. It doesn't end here. I have missed too many classes. But I will say I'm a good student. I turn in all my assignments on time for the most part. And it's worth it, like, this is really what college is about. And I hope that people understand that. Yes, there are the grades and the classes. And yes, on a deeper level, there are the people. But I hope that every single person realizes that life is bigger than themselves. Life is bigger than Nona. There are people who are in need of the resources and privilege I have. And so I'm more than happy to skip a couple classes or to miss a couple deadlines if it means making the lives of people better. Our FM workers, they're here to stay for a while. So I'm more passionate about the long term than anything.
I've gotten to watch, I get to sit in her living room and hear an idea, and then I get to watch it actualized. And that's just so special. And it is just that's how she is. She never turns the justice lens off.
I would wake up thinking about it and go to bed thinking about it. I would have dreams about it. I mean, it was just something that never left my mind, because every single day I woke up and I went to the school and I had the privilege of experiencing this campus. I thought about who vacuumed the carpets and who screwed in the light bulbs and who cleaned the bathrooms. And I just knew that I had to dedicate everything in me to this.
There is care and consideration and compassion in every single thing she does. And it's so evident to get to watch her advocating and fighting for Sodexo workers, whether that be holding a poster or will that be while we're sitting in the living room. And she never turns her passion off. It never goes away. And that is such a valuable thing that the older I get, the more I realize people aren't like that. People don't care that deeply. And she just cares so much about everyone and about her community.
Once the university announced that they're going to give their $21, I was walking on Palm Walk the day after, and there were a group of FM workers, so many of whom I love and so many of whom I know, and they were all cheering and we all started crying, and it was just a really, really special moment. I've never experienced anything like that, of just we won, a victory. And there are just so many losses that people who look like me and who look like them experience. To have this glimmer of hope was unreal and unmatched. In my time at LMU, I've learned that I'm passionate about people, and I want to dedicate everything in me to living for people. So
much of being her friend is having to realize that she's gonna care. So desperately we'll be like, Nona, take a nap, stop, calm down, just to take care of herself. But she's always gonna care. So it's looking at, okay, she's gonna do this whether we want her to or not, whether we think she's rested enough for this or not. How do we care for her while she's caring for others? Because she will never, ever quit advocating for people who need it. It's just who she is.
I mean, it is so challenging to not get overwhelmed, but I have a really, really incredible support group that loves me and reminds me to take time for myself, and reminds me that if I want to show up, I need to make sure that I'm taken care of. One of my favorite people ever, Josh Mayfield, I was recently talking to him and I was just telling him how exhausted I am. And he said to me, Nona, you're passionate about making sure that Black women live good lives. If you're not taking care of yourself, you are living a life that is antithetical to your mission. And so I really had to sit in that and remind myself, if I care about making sure that the lives of everyone are good, then I need to make sure that mine is too.
I'm so grateful and I feel so privileged to get to like sit and eat ice cream with this person who without a doubt is going to be a great change maker in the world. And the fact that like I get to be the person to like bring her a little treat is just so special. So it's an honor to help her rest. And it's just, I feel so honored to help serve someone who's serving so many.
I mean, I get emotional just thinking about it because I know what this is going to do. I know that this is a significant pay raise, and this is going to mean food on some people's table. This is going to be rent that is paid. This is going to be money that is getting sent back to homes. And I don't take that lightly. I'm just so grateful, and I feel so privileged that I was able to play a role in this at all. 21 for FM was by far the hugest accomplishment of my college life and the most significant thing that I'm taking away. And I hope that the spirit of knowing that there is so much power in student voices, I hope that it goes on forever and ever and ever. The world will continue to be a challenging place. LMU will continue as a private university to make unjust decisions. But I hope that we as students can rise above that and know that we have a voice and we have a say in how our university does things. And we have power, and this works. This works. I think something that is important for me to remember is that I am not that important. I'm just a girl that was in the right place at the right time. But I have so much faith in the LMU students here. Yes, I am so grateful to have been a part of this and played a role in this, but there are so many other people who can do the exact same thing. So I think I am leaving work in good hands.